Hello everyone, Maria Trusa with Reflect and Reset with Maria and Gina.
Here we are again.
How are you, partner?
Good, really good. Had a great day yesterday.
Yes, we went to Albany.
We met a lot of very influential politicians that's going to hopefully help us take our mission to the next level.
Let's mention some of them.
Like Robert Mojica, who is the director of budget. Deputy director.
He is the New York State budget director.
Yes, he was
pretty impressive man.
Very impressive.
We were totally impressed with the information he gave us.
Yeah.
How clear he explains everything, a detailed budget. But we
were with Andrea Stewart Cousins.
Yes.
We were with our Senator Shelley Mayer. We got to meet with a few assemblymen, and we can't forget our Lieutenant Governor who met with us as well. So we met some really great people, and we were able to get some words in edgewise about our mission.
Yes.
And actually, one of the people that I mentioned actually is going to be talking to us again. He's very interested in what we're doing, so it's very exciting.
We're very hopeful that one thing we realize is when we speak about the mission, about the work that we're doing for the uninsured population, this is something that everybody's paying attention because there is such a need, and in government, it's a hot topic. I mean, people that are uninsured, how do we cover people, and how do we make an impact in healthcare? So we have solutions here, and people are listening, so we're very excited. But today, we have a special guest.
Yes, we have Jennifer Gill, and Jennifer is our newest nurse practitioner, and she's starting as of April 1st, I believe it's going to be family practice. So we are very big into preventative medicine, guys, and I'm going to just tell you a quick story before we go on, but
I just correct one thing. So she's already here.
Oh, she's here, but she's going to be seeing patients on a
regular basis
as a primary care provider. So, and again, what Murray and I were talking about is that people don't take preventative medicine seriously. Right. They wait until the last minute, until things really are going downhill. And I've done that on a number of occasions where now it's like I have to be gluten-free, I have to take all these pills, and it's like I let myself go. And I know now how important it is for preventative medicine. I mean, really.
No, it's very true. You want to, and there are so many different screenings that you can do just to benefit yourself and your health, and they're all government-based, so there's a lot of free screenings that you can get. You don't even have to pay for some of them, which different programs can provide. But colonoscopies, mammograms, pap smears, there's immunizations and vaccines that you can get that can really, help make sure that you don't end up with a serious illness.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, tell us a little bit about you. So get them to know you.
Yes. Hello.
Who is Jennifer?
Thank you for having me here. I'm very happy and very excited to be a part of this mission, of this facility, and an opportunity to reach out and take care of the community to the best that I can. My background is I was an oncology nurse for 5 years at White Plains Hospital, and I learned so much about myself through that work, and now I'm just excited to be able to continue taking what I've learned about myself, about my patients, community, and health, and bring it here.
And and real quick, but I have to say that the one thing that she also brings to the table, which I love, is your compassion. She talks to us, I want to spend a little extra time with these patients. I want them to understand that I'm listening to them and that I really care about their well-being. So I thought that was really beautiful when you spoke to us last week.
Yeah. So we try to really, the team at Formé, I mean, we try to bring people that share the same mission, and this is one of the reasons when we interview, I know you have choices, nurse practitioners, and physician's assistant, they have a lot of choices, but I know that you chose us because of the mission of helping the uninsured in a lot of the community that doesn't have access to care. Right. So, but for those of you, let's talk about the difference between nurse practitioner and PA, let's say. So Jennifer, you want to tell us a little bit about the difference?
The difference? Well, there are certain differences. Education-wise, the PA follow a more medical-based model, whereas nurse practitioners follow a more nursing care model. So I think that, pertains to what you gravitate towards individually and personally for how you want to treat patients and how you view, medical and health in that sense, and health and wellness. The other differences include what you're able to do as a provider. They're both mid-level providers. They can both diagnose and treat all illnesses just as MDs can. However, nurse practitioners differentiate depending on different states and policies and legislation in that sense, can eventually practice on their own without having to work underneath a physician, whereas a physician assistant cannot.
Right, and you're able to prescribe without supervision.
Right.
Even though we have a medical director here, so we have Dr. Middleton that is always there to guide you and for you to consult with. So, and then nurses. So to be a nurse practitioner, you have to be a nurse first, and then you become a nurse practitioner, right? And for a physician's assistant, you don't have to do this. And I felt like you could go into the program straight, from high school, right? Once you graduate.
Right.
And I know that it's difficult to get into these programs, but one of the reasons you guys are becoming so popular is that a lot of internists, a lot of people were not going into internal medicine.
Right.
So now this program has been growing because, and I think, at the beginning, from what I know in being in healthcare for so many years, is that internists were not being paid correctly. And people will go to medical school and have, $200,000, bill for college, for education, and they will not be making a lot of money. So a lot of the specialists end up making all the money. It was, I knew at Scarsdale where I was, the internists did not make the money that a cardiologist made or a gastroenterologist. So I think throughout the years that sort of discouraged kids coming out of school or coming out of medicine to go into internal medicine. So that I think is where the growth of this amazing profession has come through.
Well, I think that's part of it. I think the other part is that we're trying to keep, in healthcare all over the world, trying to keep people out of the hospital. And so you're treating patients in a more community-based outpatient setting. And so I think with that, with the growing population, with the growing people are living, older, many years older in life, so the need for community providers is definitely growing. In addition to the fact that most MDs, not all, and I don't know the numbers, so I can't speak to that, but are going into more specialty practices, and therefore leaving this opportunity open for nurse practitioners and physician assistants.
Really the reimbursements that the insurance companies look at internal medicine doctors versus a specialist is way like this. It's really unfair.
Yeah.
But it's what it is.
But so you're working at our urgent care. So if you want to, if you're not feeling well, you can come and see Jennifer, and she will take amazing care of you. One of the things that you were saying, how it is so important to look at the patient as not just the patient, but the family. It's a unit, right?
Yeah, we talked about that on Monday.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think, and this has been my philosophy forever, as long as I can remember, is that a patient is a person first. And so immediately you should always, greet a patient, acknowledge a patient as a person. So if I'm walking on the street and I see you, I'm going to treat you the same way I would as you would come in here, with respect and dignity. Just because you're not feeling well or you're sick doesn't mean you don't deserve that. At the same token, I think that it's important to acknowledge the family background and cultural and other priorities that may take precedence over somebody's own personal health. And I think that's, in a busy, fast-paced, moving world, I think that's difficult because we don't always stop and say, what do I need to do for myself? Do I have time to go to a colonoscopy, to get a mammogram done? And I know I have to, I know it's there, I understand it, but I don't have time. My kids have to go to soccer practice. I have other, priorities. I need to go to work, and I can't get a doctor's appointment during the day. And so it's finding that moment to make your health a priority.
Right.
And then we talked about on Monday how not only are you putting yourself first when you are able to make those decisions and take those actions for yourself, but your children will look towards you, your friends, your family will see, oh, look, like this person's doing it.
She's keeping herself healthy.
And they're keeping herself healthy. And so you're teaching that habit, let's say, or you're teaching that model to other people in your life that can really benefit from it.
You were an example, and we were talking about how the importance of having a physical exam, how when you have your physical, they take a family history. So your family history is going to determine the care that you're going to have. So if somebody, let's say your mother or your sister have breast cancer, so if you're a woman at the age of 40, they're supposed to be having a mammogram. And this is the things that you find doing a physical. And the other thing that when you have a physical, at least once a year, you have a moment sort of to step back, like Gina was saying, and figure out what's not working. And at that time, the doctor could say, first of all, you're supposed to have your mammogram, which you might have forgotten. You need to have your colonoscopy when you're over the age of 50. I remember, as soon as at Scarsdale, when the doctors were taking care, I used to go there as a patient. I got immediately a card at the age of 50 that I needed to have a colonoscopy. And people don't take the time to do that, but this is something that could save your life.
It's also a baseline. Doctors always say, if you're coming in with all these issues, where were you before?
Right.
So if you're starting fresh with a baseline, and then you can see how your health is changing year over year, month over month, depending on you.
That's
but
true.
Then are you monitoring your diabetes? Are you monitoring your asthma? I mean, it's a baseline. And people, you come in and you're sick, you don't even have a baseline. You have no idea where they're even starting from.
Well, the other part is if you're pre-diabetic, you can find that out, and you can then take the steps before medication is needed, let's say, to learn about nutrition, learn what you should be eating and not eating, include exercise in your daily life. Same with hypertension. These are obesity, all of these things, these major issues that are, a concern in the United States, can be prevented. And when you let one go, you have just an increased risk for something else to continue. And so it really is important to take that hour to go see a doctor, however long it takes, to make that appointment and to get yourself checked up.
And even for the uninsured population, I find that sometimes you're penny wise and dollar foolish, right? Because you're like, no, I can't go, it's going to cost me too much money. Meanwhile, here at Formé, you all should know that we have affordable health plans here. But they're so afraid of spending that little bit of money, but then think about the snowball effect. What happens? As you get sicker, those bills are going to become a lot bigger than it would have been if you just had your physical and found out what position you're in today with health. But it's a learned reaction. You have to reteach people how to take care of their health.
Absolutely. Jennifer, so if I'm a diabetic, like how often should diabetic patients come to see the doctor?
It depends on whether it's controlled or not controlled, whether on medication or not. If you're controlled, you can come every 3 months. Your A1C will show, which can be tested every 3 months, will show how much sugar has been in your system over that period of time. And in terms of diabetes, it's usually the baseline of what we determine what medication you should be given, if it's controlled or not controlled. So I would suggest, depending, it could be every month the doctor may want to see you, or every 3 months. So if you're controlled and you're able to keep yourself in good standing, you don't have to come every week. You don't have to come every month necessarily, and spend money per se, because once you find something out, then I'm gonna have to come back. No, you just have to maintain and do these things for yourself.
Let's talk about BMI. What is considered a person that is going?
What BMI is.
What is
body mass
index. Body mass index.
Right.
And
so it determines if you are heavy, if you're obese,
normal, obese, or overweight.
Okay.
And so normal is about 25 BMI.
Under,
and so,
25 under.
And so once you step over that, you are increased risk for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and just a slew of other illnesses and diagnoses.
So, what would your advice be? We have some advice to people on how to maintain your weight, how to lose weight.
I am not the nutritionist or a magic wand keeper. However, I think that it's important to start habits and to start something that obtainable goals. Everybody has a different body, has a different schedule, has different food preferences, can eat different things, whether you're gluten-free or not. And so there's not necessarily one thing that everyone can do that can help, but I would suggest, exercise 30 minutes a day if you can get in a brisk walk. Hopefully unfortunately with global warming, we have some warm weather. It's a double-edged, but you can get out and walk through your lunch break, or if you sit at a desk, they say get up every hour for 5 minutes and walk around and stretch your legs. Try to limit snacking. Try to not have that 11 o'clock at night, I'm hungry, let me go have some ice cream. I'm guilty. That's my weakness. We all will have our vices, and ice cream is that. But however, you want to make sure that you're drinking lots of water. I think water is the biggest thing, and again, I'm guilty of all these things, and so we want to make sure that even for myself, that I don't just talk the talk, that I walk the walk. And even starting here at Formé, I've made sure that I increase my water intake daily and that I am taking those walks for myself. Because if I'm telling my patients, I want to be doing it the same.
Exactly.
That's a good example.
I would say monitor, just be observant of how much water you drink and try to increase your water intake every day, and to walk. Those are the initial steps.
What is so important that actually people are they have on your phone, you can put an app.
Oh, the app, the walking
that
app.
can remind you, because a lot of people say
how many steps you took, how many calories you burned.
And then it reminds you when you need to drink water. So, we're creatures of habits. So it's really creating those good habits. We talked about when Dr. Rojas was here, he was saying that he realized that a lot of the patients, we set up the goals that, okay, we're gonna walk, we're gonna do 30 minutes exercise. But realistically, they can keep up with that. So if you can go at the beginning, you walk for 5 minutes, he's telling his patients, walk for 5 minutes, 3 times a week. Then the next week, you're going to walk for 10 minutes.
Park at the farthest parking spot to where you're going.
That's a good idea.
Little tricks. So if you have a busy life and you know that you're not going to get to the gym, that you're not going to walk, try to put little things that can help you.
Don't take the elevator, right?
Take the stairs. Take the stairs. While you're washing dishes, run in place, or you can incorporate certain things in your daily life when you don't have time for these things in your daily life. It's just kind of tricking yourself.
Maria doesn't believe in that. Maria doesn't believe that nobody has time, right?
I truly do say that, because I know I have a crazy, insane schedule, but I've created a habit. I created many habits that have been really good for me, and everybody is capable of doing it. For me,
whatever's best for them.
But habits could be created.
Right.
You know how we create bad habits? It's the same way. It's just harder to create good habits.
Yeah, but as she was trying to say also is that when you're sitting home and watching TV, you know what? Maybe you can go down and do some crunches on the floor, or monitor how you're spending your day. Because when people say there's not enough hours in the day, let's analyze what we're doing.
Let's find it, because actually they are. One of the books that I was reading one of the exercises is write down every day what you're going to do, and then check it at the end of the day. What have you done?
Right.
How much TV? This is a reoccurring theme for me, and I say it, I think, at every Facebook Live. Take a look at the 24 hours that you have, because we all have them, and let's look at the results that you have in your life. If you're happy, don't change it. If you're not happy, you know where the formula is? It's actually in the 24 hours. It's there. And I can tell you personally, I don't need to work out because I need my body to be fit, because I need it for my mind.
Right.
So what I realized is I was changing my habits because I've been doing this 16-hour fasting, which Gina and I will explain. I've been doing it for 3 years, and I found myself looking, thin, no matter what I ate. And I didn't have to work out now as much because my body fat is being absorbed basically in the mornings when I'm working out, and I could do 30 minutes or 25 minutes when I used to do 45 minutes to an hour. And then I realized, but I'm not feeling as energized as I normally would. And it was because I wasn't pushing myself. So I realized it wasn't just for my body, I needed it for my mind. So I've been doing, I can tell you for the past month, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I do 45 minutes of workout, intense, I meditate every day, and then I listen to my Audible books, getting ready. But when I don't do that, I could wake up at 7 and get 2 more hours of sleep, and I am more tired. And I'm tired that whole day. So what I realized is, I don't like it. So if I don't like it, then
Don't do it.
what do I do?
Right.
You look at the 24 hours and say, how can I squeeze this in? So getting up earlier, and I can tell you, everybody could analyze this. And the solution is right there in your hands.
I think another important thing that you mentioned is the meditation. So I think sometimes when you're living this busy lifestyle, you're not taking, the time to just sit and breathe and to take care of your mental health. And I think that's just as important to being able to take the next step to getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you need to, maybe the first step, is to find 5 minutes of deep breathing and relaxation and just reviewing the day, or reflecting the day, right?
Reflecting and resetting.
And so,
that's why we set up this
night.
night.
But to set up that time for yourself so that if you don't feel like you're in a place that you can do exercise, whatever it is that you feel like you're hitting those barriers and using those can't words, is one, change the words that you're using. I think if you give yourself positive words and positive affirmations, you will be able to obtain those results for yourself. Put a little thing up that you read every day, I got this, you can do this. Well, I know when I first started here, the girls were, you got this, Jen, and okay. But I had to tell myself that too in order to believe it. And I think that's important, is believing that you can do that you can make the choices and the decisions to lead a healthier life, to get to the gym, to work out, to do the crunches while you're watching TV. You have to watch 30 minutes, this program, you have to watch it every day. Well, you're right, okay. You don't have to give that up. It's not about giving things up to make you happy, it's about giving things that can make you happier.
Yeah,
So,
that is true.
So start with the 5 minutes. While you're drinking your water, take the 5 minutes and, and process what has gone on that was good today. What would I have done differently? What stressed me out? Can I change that stressed me out so I can leave that stress behind?
Talking about stress, so I actually went to Gina today, right? And I said, I am freaking overwhelmed. I was feeling, which I don't get that feeling a lot. I always feel like I'm in control, but today I sat in my office and I'm like, oh my God, I feel completely out of control. And I stopped, I got somebody in my office and I said, can you give me a minute? I sat on my chair and I did this breathing exercise, which is where you, and I've said this before in other Facebook Live, where you count to, you breathe in to the count of 4. Actually, we did it the other day. You count, you breathe in to the count of 4, you hold to the count of 4, and then you breathe out to the count of 8. And I did that 6 times, and I felt relaxed.
You did that today?
I did it today because I'm like, I'm
struggling.
not
You're struggling
myself.
today.
I'm struggling, and I took that time, like you said, to breathe and relax. And I said, no matter what, this is 10 minutes. That nothing's going to happen, out there. I'm taking this 10 minutes for me so that I can reflect and reset and then move on with the day.
Yeah, you need to do that, especially you. And like she said, you really never like that.
Yeah.
So you must have really had a lot of stuff going on, you running around in your head.
Yeah, no, it's just a lot of work, it becomes sometimes overwhelming, like you said, to balance it out. But you go back to the 24 hours. So I took 10 minutes of those 24 hours just to, and I meditated this morning because I'm a huge believer in meditation. Everybody should meditate. If you think about it, we say we don't have time to meditate, and it's 10 minutes meditation. Think about it.
Can lower your blood pressure.
See?
It's really about setting up your life that's right for you. Now, we always say what Maria does is right for her.
Yeah.
And then I have to figure out what's right for me.
Right.
Everything from eating and how I'm eating and when I'm eating and what I'm doing when I get home, which I used to go home and go on the computer. And I used to work 24 hours a day. And I said, no more. I need time to reflect and reset for me. But everybody's different. So it's not that everybody has to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But the key here is that you got to start taking advantage and you got to start taking responsibility for your own health.
Right.
Yeah.
Because nobody else can do it.
There is, and stop, I have to say respectfully, stop making excuses.
Right.
Because I think that is the detriment to our lives. You know, we're always saying, well, I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of that. Don't say, I can't do this. Say, how can I get to do this?
Right.
So that the energy goes into the solution, not the problem. And unfortunately, we focus a lot on the problem.
That's a learned
So,
response.
Jen, before we go, I actually want to tell everybody that Jen speaks Spanish. She's fluent in Spanish.
I would have
I would
never
not say
thought that.
fluent.
Oh, no, I saw you speak very nice Spanish.
Yes.
Very nice.
And we, you know, as a Latina, I have to say that I appreciate that you took the time to learn our language because it is not easy. And you did the Facebook Live in Spanish with me, and I know she was criticizing herself, but she is, you're so much better off than so many people. I mean, you speak 2 languages, and you are going to perfect the language even more here. And but I am curious, like, why did you get into the Latino culture?
I would just say, I wouldn't say I'm just only into Latino culture. I'm into, and not into, but I have an acceptance and an awareness and a respect for all different cultures. But, you know, I love the music, I love to dance, and so it pulls me in. But in terms of Spanish, I started taking it in 8th grade, and I was just very lucky that I took it through high school. And I always was surrounded by someone that I could speak Spanish with. I worked in multiple hospitals, and I always had an opportunity to use it on a daily basis.
Wow.
And so I've just been very lucky that I've kept that going.
That's
I don't know how sometimes.
How many
but-
years have we been working together? And I only have a few words in my repertoire.
Oh, we did some videos today in Spanish. Gina is
Español.
definitely, Gina was, you actually talked about hiring somebody to teach you Spanish.
Yeah, so there's something called Verbal Planet, but the problem that I'm finding is that it's more of a perfect Spanish, and I need more of a, Hispanic, whatever
Yeah. I mean,
Puerto Rican,
it was more
Dominican,
Spanier and
it's a what was it called? Castilian.
Castilian.
And so Maria is going to interview my
yeah.
tutor, and then for as cheap as like $14 for an hour, I get to speak one-on-one through Skype with an instructor. So I'm looking forward to starting. So I just have to get her to interview my instructor. But I too am looking forward to trying to understand the language. It's a beautiful language.
Oh, it is. And I feel so lucky. I truly feel so lucky that that I can speak the language, that I can communicate in language, and that people accept that my flaws in the language, let's say. And I know that just personally, in terms of when I walk into a room or speak to a patient and they don't understand English, but they can sense, or that I tell them that I can speak some Spanish, you immediately see the calm and the release, because I think cultural boundaries are so broad in this country, and they're so present. And so I think that even just being able to communicate in the language helps to, whether or not you understand the culture, to be able to provide the language and that communication just gives somebody a piece of relief that someone can understand them. And so I'm just grateful that I can provide any kind of, peace for anybody, and I appreciate it.
Well,
So.
we are grateful to
Yeah,
have you.
happy to
We
have you.
are very excited about our future together and about the impact that we're going to continue to make on our community. And remember that we say insured or not, we got you covered. We have this amazing medical membership
Yes.
program. You want to quickly just
It's for it's $29.95. It's like a couple cups
month,
of coffee.
yeah.
A cup of coffee a week will get you an unlimited visits to urgent care. I mean, you can't beat that. $59.95 is unlimited visits to urgent care and unlimited visits to primary care, as well as 10 visits to physical therapy. And of course, we have the $89.95, which is all that I mentioned, except there's 20 visits to physical therapy. And we also add GYN in that for all you ladies out there. So there's no excuses that you can't afford to go to the gynecologist. You got to start taking control of your own health.
And we say, if you don't have insurance, you have to be a Formé member
Yes.
because we're here also to advocate for you. So we want you to know that if you want, if you don't have insurance, you need to call us.
Yes.
And you can call us at 914-723 4900 and inquire more about our medical membership. But you could also go online on our website, which is ForméMedicalCenter.com, and get to know everything about what we're doing here. But Jen, so we are going to continue. You're going to continue to see Jen because she will be doing some videos. We're going to be doing educational videos. We're going to talk about preventive medicine. We're going to talk about difference between urgent care and emergency room. So Jen is somebody that you're going to get to see. But we are always very happy that people join us and people are watching our show. And obviously, we always say, if you like us, please make sure you like us on social media because it does make a difference.
Yes.
And we get to know, that you are happy with the information we're bringing to you.
That's right.
So
Beautiful.
We are saying goodbye.
Till next week.
Yes. And happy week, happy Thursday, happy Friday.
Next week we'll be back at our regular time, Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So.
And I will be on Monday with Reflexiones con Maria at 5 o'clock. So I will see you. We have some interesting people coming up in the next few weeks here. Interesting guests.
Have a
Take
great
care.
week,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks,
Thank
Jen.
you.